Hello and welcome back to the campaign to re-establish Alexander's legacy through the Seleucid Empire, and with the assistance of one former Carthaginian, Mr. Hannibal Barca, who is now up at Patavium, lording it over his new captures from the Nori and the Helvetii, or Helveti, however you pronounce it. I figured we'd start this episode off with a little comment from one of my viewers here. This is DA Wins. Says, as long as there's one person still alive, the Senate still survives. Now that is a quote. And he says, that's so true. It took until 1452, the fall of Constantinople, for the Senate to be permanently done away with. we're referencing the brave Roman making an unprecedented stand down here at Cossentia. So this is the first legion, the original legion. And, you know, this makes me want to play some kind of Roman campaign at some point. It's been so long since I've played a Roman campaign. I would really enjoy it. But I'd want to come up with, like, you know, some objectives and maybe some fun version of it, or I don't know, maybe play like the what do you call it, the expansion where you were fighting either as Antony or, you know, Brutus, one of the others, Crassus. I don't remember who all they were. I get all that Roman stuff confused, but I still do find it interesting. So here we go. The Heralds of Thanos are standing here to challenge this legion. It's mostly a mercenary legion. We'll see whether we're attacked. We're trying to get the Romans' attention down there. I cannot move further on this turn, but I do want to go start popping through the different units that we can move, and there are several. So let's see. I'm going to go get eyes on, again, these settlements. So the Iceni definitely having a chunk of land here. I'm going to go check over here. This one appears to be under the command of Nemantes. But yeah, the Iceni are probably... I haven't seen the Suebi yet. But I don't know where they start either. So, yeah, I don't know where or if we'll find the Suebi. Where's my other agent? Oh, she got wounded. Yeah, my other agent got wounded. Poking her nose where it didn't belong. Well, I guess I say where it didn't belong. I wanted it to belong there. But her nose got cut off, and one of my attempts to gather more information. We're one turn away from the Royal Barracks here at Lepsis, so I'll be able to recruit whatever I want to that army, and there are things that I indeed want. I am working on the same stuff here at Rome, because I want to have good recruitment in most provinces. We don't have to have it all the way everywhere, but I definitely do want it in as many places as I can get it. I'm going to go ahead and spend some cash here to improve Rome as best we can. I'm going to go with this market settlement. It takes... like, we get a little less public order, I think. Maybe? I don't know. Let's take a look at the chain here. No, they're all the same in terms of food loss. That's stupid. How do you build a market town and you lose more food at a market where presumably you might be trading food, especially whenever it's got, like, food on the thing here? It's just, I don't know, it's weird. So I'll just leave that as is, and then our harbor, like, everything takes food. I guess. I don't know. Weirdest thing. Whatever. Is what it is. I guess there's not much I can do about it. We're going to be getting some food and olive oil, and then I'm redoing a port. So we should be fine, honestly. Let's go ahead and make all the changes here. I think we can still balance out. I'm trying to be food positive where possible, because we could eventually have a rebellion in Egypt from the, I think it's the Parthian faction of our government that controls Egypt, so I'm prepared for a massive revolt there. And we'll see what happens. Very well could be a massive revolt. But yeah, we'll just have to keep an eye on it. I have to come back over here. I left a little prematurely. Salamis fell back into the hands of these secessionists. The secessionists also have a small transport fleet sitting right off of Tyros. Not great for me. I do have some garrison here, though, at least 3 pikes, so we can probably stop anything that they attempt to do. So let's go back into my movements. Sons of Rhea have moved. Griffin's Grace is the one guarding Egypt, so they do not need to move at the moment. In fact, I'm going to fortify them here. Hannibal's Revenge at Patavium is healed and is capable of moving now and is in range of Velothri, which I think I will go ahead and attack Velothri. We could get hit by counterattacks at near any moment up here in Patavium because the Nori are very close by. And so are the Iceni, who are also at war with us. But at the same time, I need to shore up the lines behind us. Now, I could wait to do that with the Sons of Rhea. Rhea, however you pronounce it here. I'm not really 100% certain. Unrelenting Force. I like that extra campaign movement range. They have a longer move to Velothri, but let's see. We were laying an ambush here at Yadr. I was hoping to lure in some Nori from Norea. Was that this turn that we laid that? I think it was last turn, because we have 100% of our movement points. I wonder if we should just push out. I'm gonna go ahead and upgrade this fleet. We've got the cash for that right now to get them level 2 hulls. That could make a big difference in keeping us from getting rammed and sunk. My other fleet was holding up Neapolis. That's what I was looking for. I was wondering what my other fleet was, but it's holding Neapolis. Genua is controlled by Massilia, so it is not currently a target. Arse. The ancient settlement of Butt is still here. Numidia still has transports everywhere. Carthage controls Ibasim and Tarraco, so they still have a very, very small holding. They're still there. In fact, let's take a look at our... Carthage going to dislike me now? No, they don't. They don't love my war with the Arverni. But it's not causing the most trouble. The most trouble is just my massive expansionism. And they don't like the fact that I released the troops in Rome rather than just massacring them all. But, I mean, I guess they can't see past that and realize that, hey, I'm just trying to make some good cash here, you know? Just want some money. That's all I'm interested in. We have many things going on. I feel like we need to beat down the Odrysian kingdom. But look, Chimeria is moving in on the Odrysian kingdom. Chimeria might end up being a pretty tough local power. Tylus took control of several things here. And Pergamon came in. So we eventually lost our client state over here, which I believe was Sardes. I don't think Sardes took any other territory. And we've got Pontus over here as well. Pontus, relatively small force at this point, though. They don't control much. But Chimeria is really getting expansive at the moment. So we'll have to see how that ends. So the question is, what do I want to do here? The RDA have this small fleet at Yadr. Does Yadr have a garrison? It does, so it can defend itself, especially against these small fleets. So I do believe I'm going to go ahead and march. We've got Noria, Coria, and Octoduran. That is a very strange province stretching across here, but it is what it is. And we could capture all of those. I think I will take this army north. This army will then be in a position to retake Patavium or push to Noria. And then that will make where I don't have to wait on the Sons of Rhea. I can just move Hannibal's Revenge back here to Velothri, clear out the Sarverni settlement from our backlines, and then we can make the move back towards Medlon, where there's a large force. And that force may go ahead and take Medlon on this turn. It's very possible, based on the size of it. But chances are they would try and siege it for at least a turn, which would allow me to get reinforcements at least near. And again, if they retake it, we'll just take it back. But this really gets my backlines cleared up. I meant to raise that. Crap, I keep doing that. It's a mistake. Whenever you take something that's a different... like, see, this is Latin influenced. We should have raised it, tore everything down. We've got all the recruiting we need in this province, so I'm going to tear that down, and we'll just put in some farming instead. Help shore up Rome's food supply, or sorry, Italy's food supply, now that we've taken full control of Italy. Alright, so we've got full control of Italia. Let's remind myself, though, I'm going to just bounce through settlements and decide where or if I want to spend money. We're going to be in a lot of hurt for food in this settlement. We got plus 44. I think I'm going to switch this one over to the Shrine of Poseidon. That actually just gives us a little food. This one is probably going to be food negative, but I'll do my best to try and help it. And there's another building, if it ever expands, that we can put in and gain a little more food, too, at the cost of some public order, which we can probably afford a little bit of public order hit. Again, the whole food thing, some of you may think, Air, you're over-focused on it. I just want to make sure it never goes negative and stops the progress of my campaign, because I'm not able to keep up with the army's upkeep. Because when you go negative on food, you start to have troops desert. That is not what you want. See, like, Libya is food positive right now and should only get more so. But the public order is also at 51. So we don't need the extra public order coming from this Sacred Grove. Plus, we already have full Hellenic, or we don't have full Hellenic influence, but it should be rising. No, it's not. It's actually dropping. There's Desert Nomadic and Eastern. So we do need the extra influence at this point from the Grove of Nymphs. Looks like I just have stuff set up for wealth. Might go ahead and do this. Get a little extra influence to help push back, because this right here is spreading the influence of the other factions. Anyway, let's actually go back. I was working my way through. Back to Cyrene. Pannonia. Let's see how our influence is going here. Hellenic influence is not strong enough here, unfortunately. But we're not really suffering a big public penalty for it, so I'm not really terribly concerned. Thracia, Larissa. Alexandria. There's a lot of buildings for us to build, and I will just start building some, but I'm first just kind of checking what it is that I'm up against. I'll swap that over. Just because I can. If we retake Salamis, the province will be in better shape. Alright, let's see here. Go ahead and build that at Edessa. Build this irrigation ditch there. And here. Nothing we're in a huge hurry here for, but we could grab some wealth from commerce. This one pushes Eastern cultural influence, not what we want. We want Hellenic culture. So we don't want to build that. 60 wealth. The library gives research and wealth, which is pretty handy, so go through that. Caucasia. And just not a whole lot here that really needs to be expanded at the moment. It's not a huge concern. Pontus does have another settlement back here. I suppose it could be handy to have something back here by means of military production. So let's go ahead and keep cycling through. Just trying to make sure that essentially that I don't leave any slums, or as we call them here, patchy factories. And it looks that we will not. So I think that's got us pretty much at a point ready to end the turn. And I will do so, and let's get some more of your comments in on this one. Dermentia says, a Roman selling his entire family fortune to buy a bunch of mercenaries and to defend Rome is quite possibly the most Roman thing I've ever seen the AI do. I kind of agree. I think it's pretty impressive, to be honest. I'm proud of the Romans for putting together a nice final stand like this. Says that man somehow single-handedly, has said that man might somehow single-handedly save Rome, and I kind of want him to. He says, Gnaeus Lucilius Dorsuo save Rome. That would be pretty impressive, right? Okay, so the Saba kicked off the war. I knew they would. So we're not at war with the Saba. They're going to capture Yathrib. because our garrison sucks. Their armies are terrible, so as soon as we catch up with them, it is well and truly over. So they can enjoy their little victory while it lasts, because it's not going to last long. I have a large force standing by, and I have a force in Egypt that can transfer this direction for the time being as well. What if Egypt revolts? It might. It might. I'm raising that other force in Africa that I could transfer that way as well. So we've got options to take care of it. So again, I knew it was only a matter of time before the Saba pulled their shenanigans here. And I want to capture Charax immediately, because that was a settlement that I wanted back. I'm not too heck bent on getting the rest of the stuff down in Arabia Minor, but if I can, I would like to get it. Alright, so pirate hunting, rampant piracy. Let's go pirate hunting. Trade agreement broken with the Saba. Yeah, that's going to hurt us a little bit. Our agent recovered. Let's swing over to that. Protection expiring. You are still protected from a secession or civil war, but this will expire in 3 turns. Really sure why it's going to expire, but we'll keep an eye on it. I'm going to move to Medlon and help shore that up with Hannibal's Revenge. We have many enemies in the area. Hadavium is likely to fall, even to the tiniest of armies, because it has no defense. But if we get on the aggressive side here and go take Noria, I believe this is the capital, or at least a provincial capital for our enemies. This is really going to favor us here, too. I do have elephants here, so it worries me a little. All of these... I'm going to quick save this in case it kills off a unit of my elephants. I'm not going to tolerate that. I'll probably half kill one, or like, 75% kill one of them. Yeah, pretty close. Like, I wasn't too far off on that guess. Apparently the elephants are the first and only... I did it again. Holy crap, I keep making these mistakes. I mean, I can essentially kind of do the same thing here, but it takes an extra turn. Just gonna tear all that down, start to fix it, so I've got to quit making that mistake. It's costing me extra time. And probably some money as well. What are we still missing intel on up here? I've got pretty good intel across Iberia and Gaul.
That is beyond even my considerable...
Go uncover their settlement. I'm gonna send my dignitary
At your service.
north and east here into Germania. Germania, however we want to pronounce that. I'm gonna go try and get some intel to our north. It'll also uncover what's going on at Coria right now, which is nothing, so that's good news. There's a large Iceni force here. I don't know how powerful it is, but it's a large force. So... let's get down here. I need some infantry in this army. And remember here, I wanted to get something more flexible. I don't really want pikes in this army. I'm going to go ahead and evolve past pikes. We've got Silver Shield Swordsmen. Let's look at the upkeep, by the way, though, too. The Silver Shield Pikemen upkeep at 276. And it's the same for Silver Shield Swordsmen. It's considerably cheaper for Thorax Swordsmen, but of course Thorax Swordsmen are considerably weaker. Shield Barrels also rock in at 276 on upkeep. So let us go ahead and let's get some Silver Shields into this army. At least 6 of them as a nice base. I'd like a couple of Shield Bearers, and then I'd like a couple of Royal Peltists. The other flank. So this will be a very expensive army to upkeep, but it'll be very potent in terms of heavy infantry, or actually I guess technically we have very heavy infantry and heavy infantry with the Peltist. I'm kind of thinking about like hauling in a couple of light Peltists to support the shield bearers, because it would make that flank near impenetrable. The light Peltists have more ammunition if I remember right. So yeah, they've got 13 as opposed to 9 there, so they come with 4 extra javelins. Thuriel spears. Doesn't show their ammunition here, unfortunately, but I know they don't have that many. just really like all the damage you can rack up with the javelins, but at the same time, light peltists are pretty bad in a secondary melee, but they could be good charge bait and have other uses too to help shield our more expensive infantry. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and take the light peltist. Let's go ahead and get a couple units of them. And then that'll round that army all the way out and give us one more. I think it said we have 3 turns before a potential civil war. We're protected because we won a war. Okay, so it doesn't necessarily mean there's going to be one, but because we won the recent war of secession, we are protected for the time being. I get it. That makes sense. It's one of the few things from the politics system that kind of is good on CA's part. That way we can't just have back-to-back-to-back civil war and secession. So Antiochus II picking up rank number 8. He's becoming quite potent here. He's one of Hannibal's proteges, so he's high up on the strategy skill tree. This one could be cool. He takes less losses when sieging, and this could be the way where he like takes what Hannibal taught him and improves upon it, because Hannibal supposedly wasn't great at siege, you know, because of him never successfully sieging Rome. This one just drops upkeep cost, which would be pretty sweet also. But this one's kind of neat because, you know, it makes it way faster to cut through enemy settlements. I like this one quite a lot. I think I'm going to go with it. Well, this one, though, gives the group second wind. It's also really handy. And it gives unity. Dang, those are also good. Yeah, I'm going to go with Valorous. Unity, group second wind. That is some good stuff. Right there is some real good stuff. Okay, so I'm going to actually save a little cash from this turn and roll it over. Let's go look at what we need to do from the Saba side of things here. So the Saba, of course, being the betrayers that they are. Hope they're ready to suffer. So I'm going to move back into Charax, which I have been awaiting the excuse to assault Charax for quite some time, and I'm going to enjoy this. They are stacked with Desert Cavalry and Desert Levy. Desert Levy is terrible, and Desert Cavalry is also terrible. They do have some Mercenary Camel Spears and Tribespeople. Here they've got Arabian Cavalry, which is a melee cav, not a spear-armed cav. Then they have some more Camel Spears, a lot of Skirmishers. Then they got a few naval reinforcements, some Sabaean archers, and Tribespeople. Let's go ahead and fight this. It doesn't think we're going to do well, but I think that they are very wrong, and that we're going to easily prove them wrong. They're going to have a considerable number of reinforcements coming in, but we are just better, and we're going to prove it. Better and gonna prove it. Start our deployment here. I'm just gonna go right into their face here, and it's gonna be very straightforward. I'm gonna use my archers to absolutely own the enemy, and then I'm just gonna hold my flanks with my typical grouping of Thorax swords and Thurios spears. Like this. And then I'm just gonna leave my cavalry support close to home as well. There we go. Alright. So for now, I will move as a group.
Persian archers! Hellenic cataphracts! Advance at speed!
I'm gonna push up. We should find, yep, the enemy is gonna be a lot of their forces right here. We really just want to let my archers reign supreme in this situation.
Advance at speed!
They may sally out against me. We gotta see everywhere their reinforcements coming. Their naval reinforcements coming in from that flank. Okay, they are going to hold. Tribespeople. These skirmishers. I'm just kind of trying to see the groupings that they've got put together. I'm gonna move in a bit closer.
Yours to command.
Let's fast forward a second. Get my archers closer to being in range. They've got a royal guard here. I want to see that unit. I haven't seen this one up close. That's a really cool looking unit. Yeah, that looks good. I like those textures and unit skins there. That looks really neat. Let's see. So let's give the Saba something to think about. I'm going to move my archers into range and begin firing and see if the AI decides that it's going to be a good idea for them to continue their campathon.
Swordsmen! Medea cavalry!
A lot of...
Your orders! Riders, advance!
I don't really want to shoot the Royal Guard at the moment because they are going to be very well shielded. I'm really just trying to get the AI to attack me. I'm not sure if they're going to take the bait. So I want to be careful with my ammunition here. I don't want to just spend all my ammunition on units that are low threat. We got Desert Levy coming out here. I'm going to go ahead and push my pikes up further. Same with my infantry. That way my archers can operate in range and with pretty safe... So there we go. Yeah, again, I'm going to be careful with my ammunition. I'm going to start picking off skirmisher units. These ones have decided to stand and fight, so I'm going to need my archers actually over here. I'm going to start diminishing enemy skirmishers by destroying these. That's a Sabaean archer unit that came off the boats. My Median cavalry just caught one of the archer units. And I'm going to focus down some of these tribespeople on that flank.
Our general is under attack.
He is, but not for long.
What are your orders?
Alright, so this Sabaean archer is getting absolutely wasted. That is another cool looking unit, like the design of it. A lot of these Arabian units look pretty neat. Alright. So my Hellenic cataphracts are catching this unit from behind. And they've already lost over 40. And soon to be, they will lose everything. So now with my archers near position, I'm going to move up just a little closer and start to unleash all over this blob. It's a very juicy looking skirmisher blob. My guys, just a little more room here. We're at the edge of our range. Are they blocked? Apparently I've got a bunch of them who are blocked, or just the very front of my unit is in range. I can't tell. Let's move up a little closer. This is a very juicy blob to fire at. Just need to get more of my archers actually firing. There we go. This unit is acting like they're blocked now. We're starting to rain down some fairly significant death there. Let's push up a little more. Again, I'm going to give my archers just a little more breathing room. We're going to kind of slow run this. I have second wind? I do not. Okay. Second wind is such a good ability. I don't know what my archers are doing on that weird pathfinding around this building. Try and get that fixed. We're well within range. Start taking shots. We're taking some skirmisher fire on one of our pike units. It's a tribal slinger there. I'm going to bring up my heavy infantry that has better shields and protect that pike unit. Maybe able to get into javelin range and give that slinger something to think about. Meanwhile, we're getting maximum kills over here because this is a blob, and they're important kills because every kill also takes javelins away from our enemies. So that means they can't return damage to me with these units. They're getting absolutely massacred, so that's going to take a significant number of the javelins off the field. We're now hurting those slingers who are starting to cut into my thorax pikes. Yeah, they're in range of my Thurios spears, who are going to deal them some spiky death there. My archers have done some very strange things here indeed. Alright, there's very little by way of protection there now, so I'm going to move my archers back this direction. I'm going to go ahead and move my pikes up a little closer. I'm going to start pushing in over here with both cavalry and no. Here, please. Thank you. So, yeah, my Thurios spears did a great job of hurting those slingers very badly. So now I'm just going to pull my archers over. I'm trying to be pretty efficient here because I don't want to get bogged down with any replenishment. I'm going to take these 3 units and turn off the fire at will, because I don't want them discharging javelins into my own cavalry. Gotta be careful of that in this game. When I pull my archers over here, I'm going to open fire on these levy skirmishers. But we did get rid of the slingers over on this side. I've got my elephants and my other Median cavalry come run them down. My war elephants swing this flank. I don't think we're going to need the war elephants. Let's push into these desert levy. These desert levy have absolutely no business being in this fight. They're basically the equivalent of like Egyptian infantry, except I think Egyptian infantry looks cooler. Alright, so we're cutting into this flank. There is another levy skirmish unit back there. I'm going to charge it with my cavalry. And I'm going to take my infantry and give an attack order over here. Those units are going to be slow moving because the bottlenecks of moving through the city and the weird pathfinding and such. Getting more kills over here. Oh, what do they got? They got more units back here. Another noble, or so a noble sword unit. We haven't seen this one yet. So this is going to be a pretty powerful sword unit. They've got a Arabian cavalry countercharging me. But I am pretty unconcerned. I can now push my pikes up here. Could have a long time ago, to be honest.
We await your command.
Alright, and I've cleared out a significant number of the skirmishers over here. I'm going to continue to clear out skirmishers. I'm going to go ahead and turn off fire at will and start pushing over here as well. Alright, so that Arabian cavalry is going to get chewed up. I'm going to pull my own cavalry back for just a minute because they're bogged down and there's some tribes people here just throwing in there. There's no reason me risking any more damage than I need to. Push my pikes up a little further. We lost vision on the unit we were about to attack. A little bit dangerous over here still. They got that tribes people. Our archers are still cutting down more tribes people, and I'm going to continue to do so. There's multiple units. This one's immediately harming me, so I'm going to target them first. Yeah, you can see we're holding out in this fight just fine. And we have wrecked that tribe's people. So I'm going to move up and try and get even more tribes people. Let's actually hold off just a minute. I want to get that tribe's people right there. Alright, my phalanx has this escape route bottled up. And then I've got heavy infantry bottling up this escape route. So the Saba are kind of caught between a rock and a hard place here. A little inspiration. And now my Persian archers can fire up and over these buildings. And back here into the tribes people, who are going to take a savage beating. My Persian light archers are huge numbers, and they do very good missile damage. Remember, in this game, typically archers have a higher missile damage with less of it being armor piercing. And then slingers do more AP, but lower overall damage.
Melee infantry ready. Royal spears. Barracks swordsmen. Ready.
This is turned into a real blob of a fight over here.
Ready for order.
My pikes, though, are going to be getting some nice kills. The enemy's gotten all bottled up against them. Now I've got reinforcements on the way.
Spears. Advance at speed. At speed. Our order.
Hold that elephant back for just a minute. I can't afford to take a javelin volley. It's very possible that these units do have javelin volleys. I think I can go across the docks. No, we can't. We're gonna need the elephant's help now against this noble sword. Let's take this unit over here against the royal guard and clean it up. Get even more pikes ready and waiting. My heavy infantry is not getting a lot of kills over here. It's pretty depressing, honestly. Well, okay, there's a noble sword there. Never mind. That is a pretty tough fight. I was pretty unimpressed there. I'm gonna stampede these elephants in. I'm gonna have to turn around because that spear unit turned into me. Pull my Medians out and replace that there. I'm gonna use my cavalry to try and overload this flank. My archers. I'm gonna fire at that royal guard. Just need to move the rest of my cavalry out of there. I think it'll be minimal damage to my thorax. Yeah, it should be. It'll be a lot of damage to their noble unit and minimal damage to my thorax sword. Okay, we broke the enemy here.
One of our units has used all its ammunition.
Indeed, my archers did extremely well in this fight. And then we just got the noble swordsman back here who's fighting against my elephants. It's a mercenary Indian war elephant. I need to change that out for standard Indian elephant because we're paying extra upkeep. So, very solid victory at Barracks. I was rather meticulous there to ensure that we got a very solid victory because, like I said, I don't want to have to spend a lot of time replenishing. So that was over 10-to-1 kill ratio. Alright, so let's see what we got here. We can occupy, we can raise. We want to raise this settlement. Finally remembered to take a look and do what I was supposed to instead of just clicking a button as fast as I can. And honestly, I'm just not too worried about public order being bad out here, but put that in for now. So we now control that, and I'm going to be in a good position to push Gerha. I'm going to go ahead and take this fortified army and start pushing over here to protect Nabatea. I don't want this Saba army to break loose and get over there. So now they're run out of food, too. They'll probably continue to push me. They also control Marib down here. We're going to have to clear out the Saba. It's going to be a number of turns to clear them out. The secessionists are on the run again. I got to make sure that Salamis has, you know, any type of garrison before we leave it at this point. I know we get really good public order here and wealth, but I half wonder whether I should have some military buildings there just to help with the garrison. This army should be coming along nicely over the next couple of turns. Let's check where we are at from a movement standpoint. I need this agent to be given a new task. I may just bring him in to get better intel what's immediately ahead of me here. Heralds of Triton still guarding Neapolis for the moment. At Velathri, we need to put in some farming. Don't have the money to upgrade the port here. That's fine. Claws here. The claws don't really have a target at the moment. But they are providing me some intel. Alright, so I've got some intel at Genua. Hannibal had to force march back to Medlon. We took Noria. And the Sons of Rhea are busy replenishing. However, I could move them. No, because we got this enemy transports here, and Ariminum is likely still... Yeah, it's not ready to defend itself. Not quite ready to defend itself. Heralds of Thanos are still here. The Roman army, or I should say more like Etruscan army, because it's filled full of Etruscans and Greeks.
Ready for battle.
So Neapolis should be safe because my navy is here. I've got some stuff to protect it with. I think I'm going to attack this Roman outside Cassentia. If there is a garrison, this will pull it out. Nope, he's going to flee.
That is impossible.
This is unfortunate for me because I'm going to have to use...
At your command.
Can't go past Cassentia, and when I capture it, it's going to take away all the rest of my movement points and allow that Roman general to escape and possibly hire a bunch of mercenaries. They really shouldn't have a garrison at all because they just took this. And I want to use the auto-resolve. I'm going to quick save it. If it really kills any of my troops, it's kind of going to be garbage. There shouldn't be any of my troops dying here. We could just rain arrows down on these guys and easily win. I only lost 20, so that is totally acceptable. Cassentia is of Latin. Let's raise it.
Ready for orders.
And go ahead and try and build it up the right way here. We do have this building that's spreading massive public influence. I thought this would be a fun one to build, so we really don't need hardly anything from a public order standpoint. In fact, I may just go ahead and put in the Temple to Poseidon here just for the food. I've got enough cash to kind of fix that place up. So we still have a Roman legion here that needs to be dealt with. Doing my best to pin them in. Really, their only option would be to strike Neapolis. I could lay an ambush along this road. I don't think the Romans can move that far north. And I want to guard against those Norian transports. So I'm going to leave it as is for this turn end. Let's go ahead and bounce on that one. And I'll get some more comments from y'all here. T-Rex Rex, thanks for being a channel member. He says, hey, Air, really enjoyed this campaign. He says, it's a shame the AI is just so dumb in Rome 2. To be honest, I enjoy garrison battles the most because you're facing the toughest odds, rather than the usual display of some low-tier enemy infantry running headlong into your elite pikemen. Yeah, it's kind of a problem. Look at this. The Italian Legion sailed across. Interesting. We've defended Apollonia many times. I don't think we can do it here, but I'll make an attempt. If I could somehow manage to hide my slingers from their cavalry long enough. Usually when the cavalry comes on ships, it would come in on the ship and be on foot, but I want to say that they patched that. And now they're going to come in over here like that they put ashore, and that way you actually get to use your units. Yeah, see, here they are. So, it's going to be Tarentine Cavalry. You have my one naval vessel. These are transport fleets. The thing is if I ram and don't successfully sink the naval vessel, they'll just board me, and then I lose even my opportunity for the javelins. However, if I successfully ram, I could take out an entire unit, like Samnite warriors or something similar, with just my naval vessel here. It's like, for instance, I have the potential to maybe ruin these mercenary veteran hoplites and a Samnite warrior if I keep that one, but the javelins would help protect me as well. It's going to be a bit of a mess, because my slingers don't really have a good way to operate here.
Pikes ready and waiting. Pikes.
This is going to be challenging. As per usual, I'm just going to station my pikes here, because this is a very defensible position where they can't be outflanked. I'm going to back it up just a little like this. That way these buildings will give me a little bit of cover fire from like this angle there. Last time I kind of set up some decoy units to try and let my slingers operate. My slingers don't have enough room to operate on the town center. But like, for instance, if I put in a decoy unit here and here, my slingers... See, like, I'll put my mob in here. Actually, I want one of my mob here. And then, like, maybe put another hillman here. So, basically what I'm attempting to do is get my slingers a position to operate from. So, like, if a cavalry gets stuck on this square formation, I can jack it up really bad. Let's see what happens here. I am going to go ahead and risk killing some of these troops. Might be able to burn one of these ships and then attempt to ram the other. I know I can outrun them. I believe I have superior speed. Question is going to be what the AI does with their cavalry over here. They are breaking apart, coming in from different angles, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that. Okay, keep an eye on that. This is actually not ideal because my square is not in a good position. Two slingers this way, two slingers this way. Let's slow it down for a second because I got a lot going on. If I could catch this ship on fire, that would be freaking awesome. Because it might sink before they can get ashore. And I'm going to try and ram the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and just pull this ship around. I'm going to let... Unfortunately, my poor hillmen are going to take the charge here. Here they're going to get some javelins off. I turned their javelins off and on over here, so I done screwed up.
The men are wavering.
Yeah, I imagine they are. I don't have any flames yet on this ship. Increase speed and go for the ram here. Like I said, if I could sink a couple of these units, that would be huge. Oh, crap. AI bamboozled me here. This is bad. This is bad. Alright, retreat. I've got to retreat over here.
Our general is under attack.
This is bad. Alright, well actually I got really lucky here, and we turned away their cavalry, albeit just for a second. We're still going to have to retreat because we've got a ton of cavalry coming in. I got some nice javelin volleys off over here. We've got 26 kills on this hillman against heavy cavalry and citizen cavalry. So I'm going to take that to the bank. They'll be bottled up, but I've got to get my slingers out of here. I'm going to pull this Eastern Spear back to try and act as a bit of a nuisance. Let's actually pull it over here and get in the way and put it into a square formation. And then, like, I can use this to fend off the Tarantine cavalry for just a moment. Did we not get a ram? We didn't get a ram kill here. We rammed and apparently it didn't sink it. This ship is on fire now, or at least appears to be. We took some return fire, though, from those Samnite warriors. This square formation. Yeah, this is a good opportunity for me to mow down some of this Tarantine cavalry at the very least. Get in position, slingers. Come on. Takes forever for missile units to reposition in this game. It's so irritating. Unfortunately, oh, we did. We got one of them. It went down. So I'm going to turn, and we just got a ram off there. I'm going to click an attack order behind the ship, so we did just get rid of an infantry unit.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
We got rid of 2 infantry units. So that's pretty big. That's pretty big. That Tarantine cavalry is really not my concern, honestly. I want to hit this Campanian cavalry over here, because that is the much heavier, much more dangerous cavalry unit. Let's hit play. I don't think I'm going to be able to get to any of the other enemy transport ships, but I'll come over here just in case. But sinking 2 full units of infantry with a single ship, that's a pretty good bargain. Like, that's a bargain I'll take to the bank. Got a lot of sling fire coming into these Campanians now. They're well shielded and well armored though, so I imagine it's going to take a moment to see some results. I do, however, have a cavalry unit about to break through. So my fun time is over.
Our men flee the field of battle. This is a shameful display.
Unfortunately, there's this Thurio Spears. No, these ships are going to get to shore just before I can reach them. That is so unfortunate. Maybe this one? Let me see if I can get that one. Nope, they're all going to make it ashore, unfortunately. Dang. I was close to getting another sink there. Okay, I need to get my slingers positioned as best I can. There we go. They are on fire at will. Could be a risk of some friendly fire here, but it's a risk I'm going to have to take. My phalanx is now bracing for a very prolonged effort here. And I'm worried that we're just going to get outweighed by numbers. Time to just fast forward. Here comes the grind. Not much we can do in this position. Our slingers will be getting little pot shots out here and there. Let them have it. This mercenary peltist unit is going to be a real pain in the butt. But there's a lot of their cavalry in front of my phalanx. I don't know how effective it's going to be able to get its javelins over them and into my phalanx. So, but it's also unlikely that I'll be able to return fire on them very well. I'll try. Yeah, that unit's not going to cooperate, so I'm going to have to back up. Yeah, I'm not going to be good at getting any fire back out to them, and it looks like most of their javelins are conveniently traveling right over the heads of their horsemen and straight into my phalanx, so that is also very bad news. But we are holding the line for the moment. Oh my gosh, my general is just getting absolutely shredded by all those peltist units there and the Tarantine cavalry. My slingers just can't fire from in here. They don't have the line of sight. If they were archers, we'd be in pretty good shape. So we're going to lose, but we will take down a considerable number of Romans with us. We sank 2 of their transport ships. We've killed a considerable amount of their mercenary cavalry. So this will at least
Our men flee the field of
cause
battle.
significant damage to the Romans.
Our men flee the
They had too much cavalry. Otherwise, if I could have had my slingers bust out, as we had in the past, we could have probably won that. Instead, we are going to deal them, I would say, significant losses. They lost a third of their army, at the least. Yeah, about a third of their army. But look how many kills their Peltist and Thurio spears were getting. It's just, javelins in this game are utterly redonkulous. Like, they're ridiculous. And they do almost the same damage, regardless of how expensive or how elite the unit is. Unfortunately for me, they only lost 4 units in total, so they'll still have their units, but they took heavy damage. The Romans just desperately trying to stay alive at the moment. But, you know, that's what they should be doing, right? They didn't try so desperately before. Let's see, Chief of Canada says he has an idea for a campaign here, the Northern Fires. Play as Germanic Barbarian faction. Only hold up to 10 cities, sack or liberate all other cities you wish to siege. Make your way to Rome, sack it if you wish. Go further. Also sack Athens, Carthage, Antioch, Camalodunum, and make a Germanic confederate. So, like, make a giant confederated... Yeah, we might be able to do that. I'd have to look at it. I'm definitely thinking through these ideas. I like that idea. We've had a lot of ideas running through. What Roman ideas would you all have? Because, like I said, that's one that I'm entertaining, because I haven't played a Roman campaign in as long as I can remember. I'm always bashing on the Romans, like, maybe just for once I should, you know, take up their cause. We'll see. Yeah, thanks for the campaign idea. I like it. Let's get to another comment here. Rebs Red One says, most frequent air quote in this campaign, I should have raised that settlement. You are not wrong, sir. You are not wrong. Smoke and Free says, greetings, Air. Really enjoying the series. The best way to deal with an assassination plot, I found, is just to hire bodyguards. That way you don't get all those negatives as a result. As for Scipio, we all know he bribed Hannibal's mercenaries. So, had a bit to do with cold, hard cash as one of the deciding factors. Sorry, Fudge. Although my own opinion on any Roman general is somewhat biased, I have to admit I just don't like Rome as a faction. So yes, I'm sure they had some good, even great generals, I guess. Yeah, they did. Our agent just got wounded up here. Agent detained. More people coming of age. Lands open to the enemy at Ammonium. Alright, whatever. Don't know if there's much I can do about that at the moment. Is that my other spy? No. What did it mean, detained? Wounded. So our spy was wounded by a brutal attack. Agent detained. Target. I guess she got detained and wounded all on the same turn. Okay, alright. Desertion. Out here. Yeah, that's not a big deal. I mean, the Saba are going to be rolling through us here anyway. We are pretty much fully replenished, and we can begin our march to Gerha and start cutting into the recruiting centers for the Saba. Surprised they didn't attack that. I imagine they will turn around and do so. I think he can come across the desert very effectively there. I'm gonna lay in an ambush here.
Waiting for more orders. Lying in wait.
And let's see if we can get rid of these secessionists. Is that a fleet? Nope, it's transports. Just in case we get screwed over, I'm gonna quick save that. You never know when they'll like sink your general or something. One of these small fights. The auto resolve is quite unfair, many times. Let's go back to Salamis, and then we just have that one last fleet to deal with. And we finished our tech that we were looking at. Gonna allow us to build the larger main chain settlements. Extra cultural conversion would be nice. Drop political action costs could be good. And then there's even more cultural conversion down that path. So let's take this. Just make our faction stronger and stronger and easier to occupy all these lands that we are going to be invading. And we will be invading a great many lands. There is no doubt about that. Alright, again, I'm just let this agent continue on his mission to get us eyes on up here in Arverni and Iceni territory. Our defense of Neapolis is successful so far. We actually have a garrison in place, albeit a rather small one. Okay. So the Nori have a very small army here. Defensible as a Remanum. It'll be fairly defensible over the next few turns. Some enemy transports there. I really need to retake Apollonia, and I don't have an army on the Illyrian coast anymore. So I could probably just continue with Antiochus in destroying the Romans. If I attack this army here, it could pull the garrison out of Brundisium, if they decide to stand and fight, which they don't. That's going to be frustrating, because we never know when they're going to go back for a whole bunch of... yeah, there was not much of a garrison there, which is probably why they chose not to fight. And I'm going to quick save this. Let's see what the auto-resolve gives me here. They're going to hurt me. Question is how badly. A lot on my elephants. Fortunately for me, though, my elephants are not going to be utterly clutch. Since this is not like an actual Roman legion. Let's go ahead and raise this. Since this is not an actual Roman legion with a ton of super heavy infantry, I'm not going to need to rely on my elephants as heavily as we did in our first battle with the Romans, because some of you might be saying, Eric, you're going to really need those elephants. Under normal circumstances, you're absolutely correct. We would need those elephants in their full strength and glory. But in the current circumstance, I don't think so. Let's get temple. I'm just going to kind of diversify that up a little. There we go. So what do I want to do with this army? I feel like we want to keep the push going north and let Antiochus clean up behind the Romans here. The last Romans, if they can even be called that, since there's so many mercenaries amongst them. This fleet is just doing very little over here, but if all of a sudden Massilia were to declare war on me, this fleet would be absolutely clutch. So I'm not really sure what I want to do with it. There's an opportunity for Hannibal to come up here and gain a massive victory over huge numbers of Iceni. They would want to garrison up in their fort. What we could do is try a classic Hannibal here. Step just outside into an ambush stance and see if we can lure these Iceni troops into a massive ambush. That would be absolutely hilarious. Law 3. Let's move up here to Patavium. And from Noria, I really need to come back here to Coria. So I'm going to move... See the Boii here. The Boii were actually a pretty strong faction in multiplayer. They were pretty good. We don't want to have a million patchy factories up here, so let's lay in some basics here. Be good money spent. Make sure anything I've captured has something being built where we're not about to just turn out a bunch of slums. Be a long time coming, but I'm going to go ahead and build the royal barracks there in Italia, and should we determine we need it. I mean, we ended up using it here in Africa, so
Ready for orders.
ended up being a pretty solid decision. This army will be ready to go on the next turn. So should we need to rush to the defense of Egypt from another political secession, then that option will be open to us.
Ready for orders.
Take a look here. The Heralds of Triton don't really have anywhere I need them to go. Same for the Claws of Okeanos.
Ready for battle.
Good here. I believe we've moved everywhere we can. I'm just going to save a little cash on this turn, and we'll continue to spend it on key settlements. Romans went north along the Illyrian coast to Epidamnos. And in Epidamnos, I actually have some defense. Not a huge defense, but it's a defense, so I feel like that I'm going to save my game right here, and we'll pick up the next episode here, because I feel like we can damage the Romans really badly, if not outright win, depending on what this settlement looks like. So there we go. Hope you all enjoyed this one. I will be back with more action in the Seleucid campaign soon, so keep an eye out for it. HeirofCarthage signing out for now, and I will see you soon.